So we're back to talk spoilers on The Lost City of Zed, or Z, as we Americans would say.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I mean, so getting into spoilers, that's the thing, like, I almost kind of wish I knew more of the history of the story before I saw it, so I knew what to expect. Like, here's just an example from, like, there's all this suspense, and it builds up, and they don't find it, and they're back in England, and they're trying to get, like, we want to go back there. And so the whole, like, structure of the movie is, can we make it? Can we make it? Can we make it? Fuck, we can't. Can we make it back? Can we make it back? Yes, we can. Can we go back now?
Yeah.
Can we go back now?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, we can. And it just keeps going, and the suspension just keeps building. And then...
Yeah, they never really climax the whole movie, do they?
They don't. And then they go to World War One, and it's like, are they all going to die here? And then, no, you know, it ends up being... He finally, like... inspires his son to be like him, and then the father and son end up dying.
Yeah.
And they're basically eaten by the cannibals at the end. Which is like, so that, like, if there's anybody that watched the movie and aren't clear about the ending, about what happened, so the elders or whatever were talking about, you know, let's find a home for their spirits. And earlier in the movie they talked about how when one of the tribe dies, they eat the body so that the soul can live on in the tribe. And so it was basically you know, we can't let these people go, and we can't keep them, so we'll find a home for their spirits, because they're not the enemy. They're
I mean, historically,
guys.
I suppose we don't really know, but that's at least the way they try to lead the...
I mean, that's the way the movie ended it. It was subtle about it, but that is definitely what the movie was saying happened to them. And the whole thing about, like, it wouldn't shock me to learn that the compass being returned was a invention of the script. It wouldn't surprise me to learn that the character of Murray, the guy from the Shakaloon expedition that totally ruined the second attempt, was either an amalgamation of real people or just pretty much made up fiction for this. That they dramatized some of that, or they dramatized some of the National Geographic Society stuff. That first speech that he gives to the National Geographic Society is so funny in that, like, they're having this sort of parliamentary, like, yelling match back and forth, and then, like, the entire time, like, the whole crowd's against him, and then he's like, are we going? Yeah, we're going. Yay! Like, well, you guys changed your mind awful fast about that.
Yeah,
or maybe you just want to get rid of him.
That's the subtleties of British politics, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know. I never felt like the movie climaxed. I was really kind of, even in the very end when they actually get to the tribe and they see it, it's just kind of like a, oh, okay, they're there, I guess. Because they never really do see a city. I mean, there's nothing to go see. It's just a bunch of fires in the night.
Yeah, I mean, which is and it's also not like, had they actually discovered what they were looking to discover, they would have found, you know, ruins of roads, archaeological finds. They weren't finding El Dorado. They weren't finding this lost, you know, intact golden city. But that was also kind of something that they played on with the fortune teller in World War I and the picture that he drew about, you know, imagine it in your head, but remember that, what was the other thing? Who told him that they just hoped it held the answers that he sought, or that it was everything he hoped it was? It his wife?
His wife, I think. Yeah. Like in a letter or something like that. That letter that they read at the end with her, like, if she had died before the son was born, like, that's powerful stuff. Like, the whole thing about, like, this is absolutely what I wanted you to inspire in my son, and Yeah.
That whole thing.
I definitely think the screenplay picked itself up in the second half. Like it was really dry for the first half. And honestly, it wasn't until they got to the Abraham character, whatever it was, the explorer from the
Murray.
Abraham, probably not right. The Murray character, I felt like he was the first injection of actual characterization in the whole movie, honestly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that was the thing with Charlie Hunnam's character, is that they never portrayed him as being like a zealot. Like, he never went over the top and was like, no, this is our quest, this is our... He never went over the top. He was always, like, he could get irritated, but he was always right. He was always on the right side of things. He always knew the answer to what needed to happen. And so, yeah, they portrayed him... He's portrayed as a very unflawed and therefore kind of unrealistic person. And I think the movie just didn't want to take the time to develop him beyond that.
Yeah. I mean, they tried to kind of... The only real flaw they tried to make in him was his lack of time with his family, but...
Well, and
they trying to turn that on its head anyways.
There's the scene where he has the argument with his wife about her going along because she wants to go.
Right.
And, like, that's one of those things where, like, he's on the right side of things in every other scene. Yeah. And in that one, it's just more of he's right for the time period, but not for the current viewing audience. And so for that one scene, it turns him over and says, you know, well, of course he wouldn't take his wife to the jungle with him. Yeah. But that scene also just sort of, like, its only real point is to show that she's willing to go and that she has sort of this ambition as well. And that's sort of where her ability to let him do this and let her son do this comes from, is that if she could, she would, sort of thing.
Yeah, even that scene it's a perfect example of how the script just... It never took chances to write anything more than, like, on-the-nose dialogue. It kind of reminded me of, like, Downton Abbey when they'd bring in an iron or something, like, okay, here's this historical reference for you. This is how things are in history.
Yeah.
And so they kind of go through the motions of, like, well, I'm the man, so I should make the decisions, and I'm the, woman, well, I want to make the decisions for myself. And it was just, it never got beyond the meat of that. And that's really sad.
Yeah, it's they didn't want to ever cede any ground to having there be a subplot of a conflict or any kind of a character flaw.
Yeah.
Something extra for him to overcome about his own character.
And thus made the movie less interesting. I mean, I think if they just had a little more confidence in their audience...
Well, it's less interesting, but it also saves time. So, like...
I don't know.
They could have shot, like, a whole... There could have been, like, a 30-minute subplot that gave him more characterization.
I think what I'm saying is that because the script was so on the nose, they could have spent the same time in the same scene and gone through those same motions, but have written the script in such a way to give you more texture and understanding of the character, not just some historical reference of, like, men versus women at that time period.
Yeah, it's very pageant oriented, rather than novelized or dramatized. It's very... And then he said...
We must go into the woods, because that is where we are destined to go.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Thanks for that. Anyway.
So, yeah.
I liked it. I would recommend it to someone that was interested in history. I would recommend it to someone that... I thought it was one of the better depictions of World War I that I've seen, even though it's just a little chunk of the movie.
Yeah.
But... I'm kind of with you. I'm not sure that this is one that I'd recommend for the theater. I think it's one that requires comfortable home and a couch and maybe that kind of point of view.
And I think knowing what it is helpful as well. I think if you went in like you did and kind of wanted a little bit more of an adventure movie, a little bit more of, Indiana Jones traps and...
Which the trailer kind of misleads you. So if you go watch the trailer for this movie and go, oh, it looks so adventurous. It's not. It's very much a dry period piece.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, I think all of that's important to know before watching it. So
yeah,
you've heard all the spoilers, so now you know everything about this. So if you like the way we do these, though, please like the video, subscribe, check out all the written video reviews at DaleMaxfield.com. And thanks for watching.